Now, if you're as old as I am and a nerd like me, you probably remember back in the day firing up your gaming console and putting this bad boy in. The original Resident Evil. Such a fun game, so much to offer, a lot to do, and a very cool concept. It was a really cool game when it came out, and I remember playing it when I was a kid. This is gameplay of the original Resident Evil. I'm sure you remember roaming the halls of this mansion as a kid just like I do. It was some of my fondest memories playing video games, and it was so much fun. And as you would sit there and play it for hours, you would lose yourself in the immersive gameplay, scattering zombie brains across the wall. It was such a time to be alive. But then after hours of playing, night would come and you would hear your mom say, "It's time to turn that game off." And you would say, "Oh, Mom, please, just 5 more minutes." And she would say, "No, go to bed." But before you could go to bed and shut the game off, you had to go to a save room. But you had to go to a save room because you had to save the game in the save room. That's where you went to save the game and save all the progress, everything you've been doing for the past 3 hours. That way it was not in vain. That's the one thing universally all moms just could not comprehend when they were yelling at you to turn the game off and you were asking for 5 more minutes because you had to save the game. Now I'm sure when you found a save room and went into it just like I did, you heard this beautiful angelic sound. Well, today for fun, I thought I would make a video on the chords and a little bit of the music theory behind that awesome, really cool, angelic, pretty sound that we all heard in the safe haven save room of the original Resident Evil. Now, the cool part about that theme is it's not overly complicated, it just uses some fancy chords. So what you're hearing when you're in a safe room in Resident Evil is 2 chords being arpeggiated up and down. So the first chord is a G minor 9. That's the first chord. Very pretty, very open, kind of suspenseful sounding, but again, pretty. And then the second chord is a C minor 9. Again, very pretty, very open, very suspended sounding. Kind of gives you an eerie feeling, which is the cool part because when the composer obviously composed this, they were going for something pretty but something haunting at the same time, and they accomplished their goal because, again, it's a horror game, so they want it to sound haunting, but they want it to sound pretty because it's a safe room of the mansion where you're safe, where the monsters and the zombies and nobody else can get you. So it's got to be something that sounds kind of pretty, but something that sounds kind of creepy and eerie at the same time. So when you're in the safe room, you're kind of at peace, but it's still at the same time you're like looking over your shoulder, you know. But that's the cool part about going back and forth between these 2 minor 9 chords is they're both very, very pretty chords. If you play them by themselves, they sound very pretty, very open. Again, a little suspenseful, kind of eerie sounding, but when they ricochet off of each other, it creates kind of an angelic suspense, I think is a great way to put it. And I always thought that was one thing that was very unique about the safe room music from Resident Evil, using the minor chords going from one to the other, is that if you play them individually, they're very pretty, again, you know, kind of suspenseful sounding, but when you ricochet them back and forth, it kind of has a feeling of both levity but eeriness. But thank you guys for diving into the nostalgia pit with me of one of our all-time favorite games from way back in the day. But I appreciate you guys watching and all your support. Thank you so much. If there's another video game that you guys would like to see a video on, maybe the soundtrack or, a song that's in the game, please let me know in the comments. I'll see what I can do, and maybe I can try to do another similar video to this. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day.